November 2009, Charlottesville, Virginia. John Edward Jones is 26 years old. If you were to look at his life on paper, it reads like the American Dream draft. He is a second-year medical student at the University of Virginia. He is training to be a pediatric cardiologist. He wants to fix the hearts of children. He is tall, 6 feet, athletic. He played basketball in high school. He has a kind face, the kind of face that makes patients trust him immediately. He is a husband to Emily. They met at Brigham Young University. They are that golden couple everyone knows, deeply in love, shared values, shared faith. He is a father to Lizzie, a toddler with bright eyes. And there is another baby on the way, a son. They are going to name him John, too. John is tired. Medical school is a grinder. It is long nights in the library, memorizing anatomy, stress about board exams. But he is happy. He is building a life. Thanksgiving is coming. "We're going home, Em," John says. Home is Utah, Stansbury Park, the wide open spaces of the West. John misses the mountains. Virginia is green and rolling, but Utah is jagged and brown. It is a landscape that demands physical engagement. He grew up exploring those mountains. He was a spelunker, a caver. He and his brother Josh used to crawl into every hole in the ground they could find. They were fearless. They were the boys who came home covered in red mud. One last trip, John thinks, before the residency starts, before the second baby comes, before I have to be a serious doctor forever. It is a common thought for young men, the desire to touch the wild one last time before the suit and tie become permanent. They pack the car. They fly west. They are going home for Turkey, for family, and for the caves. 55 miles southwest of Salt Lake City, the West Desert. There is a hill. It doesn't look like much, just a bump of sagebrush and rock in the middle of nowhere. But underneath that hill is a labyrinth, Nutty Putty Cave. It is a strange name for a grave. The cave was discovered in 1960. It was named for the texture of the clay on the walls, soft, malleable, like silly putty. But the geology is unique. Most caves are formed by water dripping down limestone, stalactites, stalagmites, big open rooms. Nutty Putty is a hypogenic cave. It was formed by superheated water rising from below. Hot water, acidic and pressurized, ate its way up through the rock, dissolving the limestone into a Swiss cheese of narrow tubes and tight squeezes. It is a warm cave. It is humid, and it is tight. It is famous among Boy Scouts and college students. It is a beginner's cave, a rite of passage, but it has teeth. In 2004, a boy got stuck in a section called the Helmet Eater. It took rescuers 14 hours to get him out. In 2005, a 16-year-old got stuck in the same spot. The cave was closed. Authorities put a grate over the entrance. They said it was too dangerous, but caver groups lobbied to reopen it. They implemented a permit system. They said, if you manage it, it's safe. In May 2009, just 6 months before John comes home, the cave was reopened. It was supposed to be safe now. But you cannot permit geology. You cannot regulate a hole in the ground. The cave sits there, silent and warm, waiting for the next visitor. Thanksgiving, 2009. Stansbury Park, Utah. The Jones house is full of noise. Brothers, sisters, in-laws, cousins. The smell of roasting turkey and pumpkin pie fills the air. John is glowing. He is holding Lizzie. He is touching Emily's stomach. He reunites with his brother, Josh. Josh is 23. He looks up to John. John is the big brother, the med student, the responsible one. But when they are together, they revert to boys. "Remember the time we got lost in Timpanogos?" Josh laughs. "Remember when we ran out of light?" John adds. They talk about the old days, the adrenaline, the mud. "We should go out," Josh says. "While you're here." "Where?" John asks. "Nutty Putty. It just reopened. I heard it's fun. A bit tight, but fun." John hesitates. He is bigger now. He is 200 pounds. He isn't the skinny teenager he used to be, but the pull is strong. It is a chance to bond with Josh, a chance to introduce the younger generation, friends and cousins, to the sport. "Let's do it," John says. Wednesday night, before Thanksgiving dinner. It feels innocent. It is just a hike underground. They recruit a group, 9 people. 11 of them drive out, but 2 decide to stay topside. John, Josh, and friends. They gather their gear, headlamps, knee pads, batteries. Emily kisses John goodbye. "Be careful," she says. It is the standard wife warning. "I'm always careful," John says. "It's just a beginner cave, Em. We'll be back by late tonight." He walks out the door. He is wearing jeans and a long-sleeved shirt. He has no idea that he is walking out of his life. Wednesday, November the 24th, 2009. Evening. The sun sets early in November. The sky turns a bruised purple over the Great Salt Lake. The convoy of cars drives south. They leave the lights of the city behind. They pass through Lehigh, then Saratoga Springs. The road turns to dirt. They are heading into the emptiness of the Utah desert. The mood in the car is high. John is driving. He is telling stories about medical school, about the cadaver labs, about the stress. "This is exactly what I need," John says. "Just rocks, no books." They park at the base of the hill. It is cold. The wind whips through the sagebrush. They put on their coveralls. They strap on their headlamps. They check each other's lights. "Everyone got backups?" John asks. He is the leader, the responsible one. They hike up the hill. It is steep. Their breath plumes in the cold air. They reach the entrance. It is a hole in the ground, surrounded by a concrete collar and a metal grate. It looks like a storm drain. They unlock the grate. One by one, they slide in. The air hitting their faces is different. Outside, it is freezing. Inside, it is 65 degrees and humid. It smells of wet dust and clay. It smells like the earth's breath. John goes in. He slides down the entrance chute. He stands up in the first room. The big slide. He smiles at Josh. "Good to be back," John says. The darkness swallows them. 8 p.m. The group moves deeper. Nutty Putty is not a walking cave. It is a crawling cave. You're on your hands and knees almost immediately. They pass through the big slide. It is slick with the famous clay. They slide down, laughing. They move into the maze. It is exactly what it sounds like, a confusing network of tunnels branching off in every direction. John is in the lead. He is feeling good. He feels his body responding. The muscle memory of caving returns. He squeezes through tight spots. He exhales to make his chest smaller. He pushes with his toes. But something is different. He is tighter than he remembers. His chest scrapes the ceiling. His hips catch on the walls. He is a man of 2009 trying to fit into a hole made for the boy of 1999. "It's a bit snug," John calls back to Josh. "Suck it in, fat boy," Josh jokes. They laugh. They are looking for the Birth Canal. The Birth Canal is a famous challenge in Nutty Putty. It is a tight squeeze that opens up into a larger room. It is the prize. John is navigating by memory and instinct. He sees a hole. It goes down. It looks tight. This must be it, John thinks. The Birth Canal. He dives in head first. This is the critical error. Caves don't have signs. They don't have warnings. There are 2 holes. One is the Birth Canal. The other is the Ed's Push. Ed's Push is not a passage. It is a dead end. It is an unmapped, uncharted fissure that goes down into the dark and stops. John doesn't know this. He puts his hands into the hole. He pushes his shoulders through. Gravity takes over. He slides forward. The walls are smooth. The clay is slippery. He thinks he just has to push through the constriction, and it will open up, so he exhales. He pushes hard. His chest passes the narrowest point, and then he stops. 8:30 p.m. John Jones is now in the chute. He is convinced this is the birth canal. The map in his head says, tight squeeze, then open room. So he commits. He pushes his hips through the opening. The passage is angling down, steeply, about 70 degrees. It is almost vertical. He is crawling headfirst toward the center of the earth. The tunnel is called Ed's Push. It is not a passage. It is a geological dead end. It is 18 inches wide and 10 inches high. Think about that. Take a ruler, measure 10 inches. That is the space for his chest, his back, and his lungs to expand. John exhales to make himself smaller. He uses his toes to push off the ceiling behind him. He slides forward. His chest passes a lip of rock. He expects the tunnel to widen. It doesn't. It gets tighter. He hits a bend. The tunnel hooks to the right and spirals down. He is now completely upside down. His head is lower than his feet. He tries to push back, but gravity is a one-way street here. When he pushes up, his feet slip on the smooth clay ceiling. When he relaxes, he slides down. He is wedged. His arms are pinned underneath his chest. He can't use them to push. He is a cork in a bottle. "Josh!" John yells. The sound is muffled by his own body blocking the tunnel. "Josh, I'm stuck." His voice has changed. It isn't the laughing voice from 5 minutes ago. It is the voice of a man who realizes he has made a terrible mistake. Josh Jones is behind him, waiting in a slightly wider section called the Scout Trap. He hears the panic. He crawls into the chute. He sees John's feet. That is all he can see. Just the soles of his running shoes sticking out of the dark hole. "John, you okay?" "I'm stuck, Josh. I can't move. I can't go back." "Okay, don't panic," Josh says. "I'll pull you out." Josh wedges his own legs against the rock. He reaches down. He grabs John's calves. "On 3, Josh says. 1, 2, 3. Pull." Josh heaves. He is strong. John slides up, maybe 6 inches. "Okay, I got you," Josh grunts. "Keep coming." But then, physics intervenes. To get a better grip, Josh has to let go for a fraction of a second to reset his hands. In that split second, gravity takes over. John slides back down. But he doesn't just slide back to where he was. His shirt catches on the rock. His breathing expands his chest. He slides deeper. It is the Chinese finger trap effect. Every time they try to pull him and fail, he wedges tighter. He is now past the lip of rock that caught his chest. He is locked, and he is breathing hard. Panic increases the respiratory rate. The lungs need more room to expand. But there is no room. The rock walls are pressing against his rib cage. Every breath is a battle against geology. 9 p.m. They have been trying for 30 minutes. Josh is exhausted. He is sweating profusely in the humid cave. John is silent. "John?" Josh asks. "My legs are hurting," John says. His voice is tight. "I'm upside down, Josh. The blood is rushing to my head." Josh realizes he can't do this alone. If he keeps pulling, he might break John's legs. Or worse, he might dislocate his hips, leaving him in shock in a place where they can't treat him. He crawls down as close as he can. "John," Josh says, "I have to go get help." "Don't leave me," John whispers. It is the most terrifying sentence a caver can hear. "I have to," Josh says. "I need ropes. I need guys. I can't get you out." Silence from the hole. Then John speaks. "Pray with me first." In the darkness of Nutty Putty Cave, 2 brothers pray. They are Mormon boys. Faith is their bedrock. "Dear Heavenly Father," Josh whispers, "please help us. Please help John stay calm. Please send help. Amen, John says. I'll be back, Josh promises. I'll be back with the cavalry. Josh scrambles backward. He has to leave his brother alone in the dark, pinned like a specimen in a jar, knowing that every minute he is gone, John is suffering. Josh exits the chute. He scrambles through the maze. He hits the big slide. He climbs up. He bursts out of the cave entrance into the cold night air. The wind hits his sweat-soaked clothes. He shivers instantly. He runs to the SUV. He grabs his phone. No signal, of course. They are in the West Desert. He jumps in the car. He drives up the dirt road, holding the phone out the window, watching the bars. One bar. He dials 911. 911? What is your emergency? My brother is stuck in Nutty Putty Cave, Josh screams. He's stuck upside down. He can't breathe. The dispatcher is calm, but she is confused. Is he injured? No, he's stuck. He's trapped in a hole. Okay, sir. Where are you? Nutty Putty, the main entrance. We are dispatching a unit. Josh hangs up. He drives back to the cave entrance. He waits. He looks at the stars. They are cold and indifferent. Down below, 150 feet under his boots, his brother is waiting. The call goes to the Utah County Sheriff's Office. It is dispatched as a cave rescue. In the rescue world, calls come in tiers. Tier 1, lost hiker, easy. Tier 2, injured climber, harder but standard. Tier 3, cave rescue, the nightmare scenario. Sergeant Tom Hodgson gets the call. He knows Nutty Putty. He knows its reputation. He calls Utah County Search and Rescue. He calls the cave rescue team. These are not just firefighters. These are specialists. They are skinny, wiry men and women who like small spaces. But it takes time. They are volunteers. They are at home, eating Thanksgiving leftovers, watching TV. They have to get their gear. They have to drive an hour to the cave. It is 9:30 p.m., then 10 p.m., then 10:30 p.m. For John, time is dilating. Every second feels like an hour. He tries to wiggle his toes to keep the circulation going. He tries to think about Emily, about Lizzie, but the blood is pooling in his brain. His eyes are throbbing. His face is swelling. He starts to hallucinate. He sees flashes of light. He hears voices. Josh, he calls out. But Josh is outside, pacing by the car. John is alone with the rock, and the rock is winning. 11 p.m. The first lights appear on the road, a sheriff's cruiser, then a rescue truck. Susie Matola is one of the first rescuers on scene. She is small, tough, and experienced. She gears up. She enters the cave. She moves fast. She knows the layout. She gets to the maze. She finds the chute. She crawls in. She sees the shoes. John, she calls. Hi, John says. His voice is weak. I'm really glad to see you. I'm Susie, she says. We're going to get you out. She assesses the situation. She shines her light down the hole. She sees the problem immediately. He isn't just stuck. He is encased. The rock follows the contours of his body perfectly. It is like a custom-made suit of armor. She tries to reach his hands. She can't. They are pinned under him. She grabs his ankles. I'm going to tie a webbing strap to your ankles, she says. It might hurt. Do whatever you have to do, John says. She ties the knot. She braces herself. She pulls. She pulls with everything she has. John doesn't move a millimeter. She realizes then, with a sinking feeling in her gut, that this isn't a rescue. This is a siege. Wednesday, November 25th, 2009, 1 a.m. John Jones has been stuck for 4 hours. 4 hours is a long time to be uncomfortable. It is an eternity to be upside down. The human body is an engineering marvel designed for one specific orientation: upright. When you flip it over, the machinery starts to fail. Gravity, usually the heart's ally, becomes its enemy. The heart has to pump blood up against gravity to get it to the feet. It works harder. The heart rate spikes, but the blood returning from the brain has no help. It pools. John's face is swelling. The capillaries in his eyes are under immense pressure. His vision is starting to blur. But the real killer is the lungs. In an upright position, the diaphragm pulls down to let the lungs expand. The liver and intestines sit below, out of the way. Upside down, the internal organs, the liver, the stomach, the intestines, slide down. They press against the diaphragm. They crush the lungs. John is breathing shallowly. He has to fight the weight of his own organs to take a breath. It is a slow, suffocating squeeze. "My head hurts," John whispers to Susie Matola. "I know, John," Susie says. "We're working on it. Try to keep your breathing slow." She can hear the fluid starting to build up in his sinuses. He is drowning in his own biology. Topside, the scene has transformed. The lonely dirt road is now a parking lot of flashing lights. Ambulances, fire trucks, search and rescue Suburbans. Generators hum, powering floodlights that illuminate the desert sagebrush. Ryan Schertz arrives. Ryan is a veteran caver. He knows Nutty Putty. He is one of the few people who has been deep inside the Ed's Push area before, though never stuck like this. He gears up. He brings a heavy pack, drills, bolts, webbing, pulleys. He enters the cave. He moves fast, crawling over the big slide and snaking through the maze. He reaches the pinch point. He sees Susie. He sees John's feet. Ryan assesses the geometry. It is a nightmare. The tunnel isn't straight. It bends. If they pull John straight back by his ankles, his knees will catch on the ceiling. His hips will catch on the floor. They need to lift him up to clear the lip of rock that caught his chest, and then pull him back. But there is no up. The ceiling is inches above his calves. "We need anchors," Ryan says. "We need to build a pulley system. We need mechanical advantage." He realizes brute force won't work. If they just pull, they will snap John's legs. They have to engineer a machine inside a hole the size of a washing machine. 2 a.m. Ryan pulls out the hammer drill. It is loud. In a confined space, the sound of a hammer drill hitting rock is deafening. "John," Ryan yells, "I'm going to make some noise. Cover your ears if you can." John can't cover his ears. His arms are pinned beneath him. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat. The drill bites into the limestone. Dust fills the air. It chokes them. In a normal cave, the dust would drift away. Here, there is no airflow. It hangs in a thick white cloud. Ryan drills one hole, then another. He inserts expansion bolts. These are steel sleeves that expand when you tighten the nut, biting into the rock. He clips carabiners to the bolts. He threads the rope. He is building a 9-to-1 haul system. This means for every 9 feet of rope they pull, John moves 1 foot, but it multiplies their strength by 9. It is standard rescue physics, but Nutty Putty has a defense mechanism, the clay. The walls are coated in that famous, slippery, Nutty Putty clay. Ryan worries the bolts might slip. The rock here is soft. It is rotten limestone. He tests the anchor. He pulls on it. It holds. He crawls down to John. "We're setting up the pulleys, John. It won't be long." John's voice is slurred. "I'm sorry, Ryan." "Sorry for what, bud?" "I'm sorry I'm so fat. I'm sorry I made you guys come out here on Thanksgiving." Ryan smiles in the dark. It breaks his heart. "Don't worry about it, John. We needed the exercise. Just hang in there." "I really want to get out," John whispers. "I want to see my wife." While they rig the ropes, the waiting continues. Ryan stays by John's feet. In cave rescue, the patient care is usually medical, checking vitals, splinting bones. Here, patient care is psychological. Ryan becomes John's lifeline to sanity. They talk. "So, you're a med student?" Ryan asks. Yeah, at UVA, John wheezes. Pediatric cardiology. Fancy, Ryan says. I just fix radios. They laugh. It hurts John to laugh, but he does it anyway. Tell me about your wife, Ryan says. Emily, John says. She's amazing. We have a girl, Lizzie, and a boy on the way. What are you naming the boy? John, he says. After me. Ryan touches John's ankle. We're going to get you out to see little John, I promise. It is a promise Ryan intends to keep, but he knows the odds are shifting. He checks John's circulation. He squeezes John's toe. The capillary refill is slow. The blood is pooling in his torso. His legs are going numb. This is dangerous. If the blood sits there too long, it becomes toxic. When they release him, that toxic blood will rush back to his heart. It is called crush syndrome. They need to get him out now. 3:30 a.m. The system is rigged. They have a team of rescuers in the scout trap, holding the rope. Ryan is the forward observer. He is watching John. Okay, Ryan yells. Slow pull, on my command. Haul. The rescuers pull. The rope tightens. The pulleys squeak. John groans. Stop, stop, Ryan yells. What's wrong? It hurts, John screams. The angle is wrong. The rope is pulling his ankles back, but his knees are grinding against the ceiling. His shins are being crushed. We need to adjust, Ryan says. They move the pulleys. They try to change the vector. Okay, try again. Gentle. They pull. John screams again. A raw animal sound of pain. My legs! My legs are breaking. Ryan shines his light. He sees the problem. John's body is wedged so tight that the friction of his clothes and skin against the rock is greater than the force they can apply to his legs without snapping his bones. The cave is grabbing him. It is like trying to pull a nail out of wood with your fingers. Slack, Ryan calls. The rope goes loose. John is sobbing. The pain in his legs is excruciating, but the relief of the tension is almost worse because he slides back down a fraction of an inch. We need more leverage, Ryan says. We need to break the rock. 4 a.m. If they can't pull John out, they have to make the hole bigger. They bring in air chisels, pneumatic hammers powered by compressed air tanks. The tanks are heavy. Rescuers have to drag them through the maze. Ryan takes the chisel. He starts working on the lip of rock that caught John's chest. Chug, 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 chug. The noise is even worse than the drill. It vibrates through the rock, through John's body. Ryan chips away at the limestone. He is trying to widen the Ed's push tunnel, but he has to be careful. If he chips too much, the ceiling might collapse on John. He works for an hour. He clears away a few inches of rock around John's calves, but he can't reach the chest. The chest is the problem. Ryan is exhausted. His arms are cramping. The air in the cave is getting bad. Carbon dioxide from all the rescuers breathing in the confined space is building up. We need to rotate, a safety officer calls from behind. Ryan, you've been down there too long. I'm staying, Ryan says. No, you're dehydrated. Switch out. Ryan reluctantly backs out. Another rescuer, Sean Roundy, crawls in. He sees John. He sees the exhaustion. Hi, John, Sean says. I'm taking over. John doesn't answer immediately. He is drifting. John, I'm here, John whispers. Just tired. Sean looks at the clock. It has been 8 hours. The sun is coming up outside. But inside, it is just endless, crushing night. Thursday, November 26th, 2009. Thanksgiving Day. 10 a.m. John Jones has been trapped for over 12 hours. The sun is shining brightly on the surface. Families across Utah are putting turkeys in ovens. But inside the cave, the situation is critical. John is going into shock. He is drifting in and out of consciousness. His speech is slurring. The blood pooling in his brain is causing intracranial pressure. The medical team knows they need to get fluids into him. But how do you start an IV on a man who is buried in rock? His arms are pinned underneath him. His neck is inaccessible. That leaves his feet. A paramedic crawls down to the scout trap, the staging area just above the chute. It is cramped. Dust from the drilling hangs in the air. He grabs John's ankle. Finding a vein in the foot is hard under normal circumstances. In a cave with a patient who has been inverted for half a day, the veins are collapsed or blown out from pressure. The medic taps the foot. He inserts the needle. John flinches. "Sorry, buddy," the medic says. "Just a little stick." He tapes the line. He hangs the bag of saline from a bolt in the ceiling. Gravity does the rest. The fluid flows down the tube, into his foot and toward his heart. It is a small victory. "That feels cold," John murmurs. "That's good, John. That's the good stuff." But fluids are a double-edged sword. They keep his blood pressure up, but they also increase the volume of liquid his heart has to pump against gravity. It buys them time, but not much. 12 p.m. The Rescue Command Center decides to play their emotional trump card. They lower a hard-wire communication line, a sound-powered phone, down into the cave. They thread the wire through the maze, down the big slide, and into the chute. Topside, they hand the receiver to Emily Jones. She is sitting in a sheriff's SUV. She is pregnant. She is terrified, but she is strong. "John," she says. Her voice is steady. Down below, the speaker crackles near John's head. "Em?" John's voice is weak, wet, and tired. "Hi, baby," she says. "I'm here. Everyone is here." "I'm stuck, Em," John whispers. "I'm really stuck." "I know. But they are going to get you out. They have the best guys in the state down there." John starts to cry. It is a dangerous thing for him to do. Crying swells the mucous membranes. It clogs the sinuses. It makes breathing harder. "I want to come home," he sobs. "I want to see you and Lizzie." "You will," Emily says. "You just have to fight. Can you fight for me?" "I'll fight," John promises. "I love you. I love you too. Don't give up." The call ends. Emily hands the phone back to the deputy. She breaks down. Down in the hole, the conversation has a different effect. It galvanizes John. The adrenaline spikes. "Okay," John says to Ryan Schertz, who has rotated back in. "Let's do this. Pull me out." 4 p.m. The rescue team has built a machine inside the earth. It is a masterpiece of improvisational engineering. They have drilled new anchors. They have routed ropes through a series of pulleys to create a Z-rig, a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage system compounded with another system. They have 5 strong men in the scout trap ready to haul. Ryan is down in the chute with John, managing the patient end. He loops a heavy webbing strap around John's legs, padding it with whatever they have, shirts, knee pads, to prevent crushing the bone. "Okay, John," Ryan says. "This is the big one. We are going to lift you up, then pull you back." "Ready," John says. Ryan radios up the line. "Haul, haul, haul." The team pulls. The ropes go taut. The carabiners groan under the tension. John screams in pain. "Keep going," Ryan yells. "Don't stop." They pull harder. And then, a miracle. John moves. He slides up. His hips clear the narrowest point of the funnel. He slides back. "I'm moving," John yells. "I'm moving." His chest expands. For the first time in 20 hours, he can take a full breath. "Keep hauling." They pull him up further. He is almost out of the pinch point. Ryan can see John's face. It is swollen, bruised, and covered in mud. But his eyes are open. John looks at Ryan. He smiles. It is a pained, gruesome smile, but it is real. "It sucks being upside down," John says. "Yeah, it does," Ryan laughs, tears in his eyes. "Let's get you out of here." Ryan reaches down to grab John's hand. They are touching. The rescue is working. They just need one more pull to get his knees over the rock lip. "One more," Ryan yells. "Give me everything." 4:30 p.m. The team in the scout trap digs in their boots. They heave on the rope. The tension in the system is immense. Hundreds of pounds of force. The rope is anchored to a natural arch of rock in the ceiling, a bomb-proof natural feature that cavers use all the time, or so they thought. Nutty Putty is not granite. It is not limestone. It is clay that has turned into rock, and rock that is turning back into clay. It is brittle. As the team pulls for the final heave, the physics equation changes. The angle of the rope shifts slightly. The force on the rock arch becomes a shear force. Crack. It sounds like a gunshot. A piece of the ceiling explodes. The stone arch shears off. The pulley, the carabiner, and the rope, loaded with hundreds of pounds of tension, become a missile. The metal hardware flies backward, straight at Ryan's face. It hits him in the jaw. He is knocked backward, blinded by pain, blood instantly filling his mouth. But the tragedy isn't Ryan's injury. The tragedy is gravity. With the tension gone, John falls. He slides back down the chute. He slides past the pinch point. He slides deeper than he was before. He hits the bottom of the Ed's push with a sickening thud. He is wedged tighter than ever. And now, his right arm is twisted behind his back at an impossible angle. The dust clears. Ryan is groaning, spitting blood. He has a severe concussion and a lacerated face. He tries to sit up. "John," Ryan calls out. Silence. "John, answer me." From the bottom of the hole, a sound. It is not a scream. It is a whimper. "I'm back. Down," John wheezes. The air has been knocked out of him. The fall has compressed his chest even further. Ryan crawls to the edge of the hole. He shines his light. John is deeper now. Ryan can barely see his feet. "We'll rig it again," Ryan says, his voice thick with blood. "We'll get another anchor." But he knows. He looks at the ceiling. The bomb-proof rock has shattered. The cave is disintegrating around them. They have no anchors left. Ryan tries to reach down. He passes out from the pain in his head. Other rescuers scramble down. They drag Ryan out of the chute. They look at the hole. They look at the shattered rock. The energy in the cave shifts instantly. It goes from a frenetic, hopeful rescue operation to a funeral wake. John is still alive. He is still breathing. But the machine is broken. The rescuers are broken. And the cave has swallowed the key. Topside, the news spreads. The anchor failed. Ryan is hurt. John fell back down. Emily Jones sees the flurry of activity. The medic carrying Ryan out on a stretcher. She knows. She doesn't need to be told. She feels it. Sean Roundy goes back in. He is fresh, but he is fighting a losing battle. He crawls down to John. "John, we're going to try again. We're drilling new holes." John's voice is barely a whisper now. "I'm going to die here, aren't I?" "No," Sean lies. "No, you're not." But John is a medical student. He knows physiology. He knows that after 24 hours upside down, the toxins in his legs are lethal. He knows his heart is failing. "My legs. I can't feel them anymore." "That's okay," Sean says. "We don't need your legs. We just need you." Sean starts drilling, but the drill battery dies. He grabs another one. It dies. The equipment is failing. The cave is humid, dusty, and hostile to machinery. It feels like the earth itself is rejecting them. Sean sits back on his heels in the dark. He listens to John's breathing. It is a rattle now. In, click, out, wheeze. It is the sound of a fluid-filled lung. It is the sound of the end. Wednesday, November 25, 2009, 10 p.m. John Jones has been stuck for 26 hours. 26 hours upside down. The human body has a limit. John has passed it hours ago. The fluids they pumped into his foot have kept his blood pressure up, but his heart is failing. It is exhausted from pumping against gravity. His lungs are filled with fluid. Every breath is a gurgle. The rescuers in the scout trap are frantic. They are trying to drill new holes, trying to set new anchors. But down in the chute, Ryan Schertz, injured but refusing to leave, hears the change. John stops talking about his wife. He stops talking about the pain. He starts talking to people who aren't there. He is delirious. "Mom?" John whispers. "I'm okay, Mom." Then silence. "John?" Ryan calls out. "John, stay with me." John doesn't answer. Ryan crawls closer. He shines his light on John's feet. They are motionless. He reaches down. He squeezes the calf. There is no reaction. Ryan puts his ear to the opening. He listens for the breathing. It is shallow, irregular, agonal breathing. The brainstem reflex fighting for air when the conscious mind has already shut down. "We need a medic," Ryan yells back up the tunnel. "Now!" But the tunnel is long. The maze is tight. It takes 20 minutes for a paramedic to crawl down with a stethoscope. 20 minutes is too long. 11:57 p.m. The paramedic arrives at the chute. The cave is strangely quiet. The drilling has stopped. The shouting has stopped. The only sound is the dripping of water and the hum of the distant generator fans. The medic crawls into the scout trap. He looks at Ryan. Ryan shakes his head. The medic crawls down the chute as far as he can. He reaches John's back. He places the diaphragm of the stethoscope against the rib cage. He closes his eyes. He listens. He listens for the lub-dub of the heart. He hears the ocean. He hears the blood rushing in his own ears. But from John's chest, silence. He moves the stethoscope. He tries again. Silence. He checks the carotid pulse in the neck. Nothing. He checks the pupils. Fixed and dilated. The medic backs out of the hole. He sits in the dirt. He looks at the other rescuers. These are tough men. Firefighters. Cavers. They are all looking at him. "He's gone," the medic whispers. "Are you sure?" Ryan asks. His voice breaks. "I'm sure. Time of death. Roughly midnight." Ryan puts his head in his hands. He weeps, not just for John, but for the failure. They had him. They moved him. They saw his face. And then the rock broke. Ryan feels the weight of the carabiner that hit his face. It is a physical reminder of the moment hope died. Thursday, November 26th. Thanksgiving morning. The word travels up the hardwired phone line. Code black. Topside, the command center goes silent. Sheriff Jim Tracy takes the handset. He listens. He nods slowly. He walks over to the family tent. Emily Jones is waiting. She is holding her pregnant belly. Her parents are holding her hands. She sees the sheriff's face. She knows. "We did everything we could," the sheriff says. Emily collapses. It is a sound that haunts everyone present, a primal wail of grief. John was 26. He was a father. He was a doctor. He was everything. And now, he is gone. Inside the cave, the rescuers begin the long crawl out. They leave their gear. They leave the ropes. They leave the drills. They don't have the energy to carry them. They emerge into the cold night air one by one. They are covered in dust. Their faces are streaked with mud and tears. They don't speak to the press. They don't speak to each other. They walk past the family tent, heads down. They feel like they failed. But they didn't fail. They fought geology and lost. Friday, November 27th. The rescue is over. The recovery begins. The family wants a body to bury. It is a natural human need. Sheriff Tracy orders a recovery team to go back in. "Get him out," Tracy says. "Whatever it takes." They send in fresh teams. They are aggressive now. They aren't worried about hurting John anymore. They rig heavier ropes. They use more powerful winches. They pull. But John's body has settled. Rigor mortis has set in. He is wedged even tighter than before. They pull so hard the ropes begin to fray. Then, a second near tragedy. A rescuer, trying to get leverage to dislodge the body, slips. He slides into the chute. He gets stuck. For 10 minutes, panic erupts. "We have another one. We have another one stuck." They manage to pull him out, but he is badly injured, deep bruising, muscle tears. The team leader calls a halt. He radios the surface. "Sheriff, we can't do it. The cave is unstable. We are going to kill someone trying to get a dead body out." Sheriff Tracy faces the hardest decision of his career. He consults with the family. He explains the risk. "If we keep trying, John won't be the only one who dies in there." The family prays. They talk. They realize that John loved the outdoors. He loved the earth. Maybe it is fitting that the earth keeps him. Leave him, the family decides. Let him rest. Saturday, November 28th. The heavy machinery arrives. Not drills this time. Concrete trucks, bulldozers. They can't just leave the cave open. Nutty Putty is a magnet for thrill seekers. If they leave it, someone else will go in. Someone else will die. They decide to seal it. They drill a hole into the ceiling of the Ed's push chamber, right above where John is resting. They insert a camera. They see him one last time. He looks peaceful. He is curled in the fetal position. The family says a final goodbye through the monitor. Then the work begins. They bring in explosives. They collapse the ceiling of the big slide. Boom. The entrance tunnel collapses, filling the passage with tons of rock. Then, the concrete trucks back up. They pour concrete into the entrance, yard after yard of gray slurry. It fills the shaft. It hardens around the metal grate. They erect a plaque. It lists John's name, his birth date, his death date. It designates Nutty Putty Cave not as a geological curiosity, but as a final resting place, a cemetery of one. The wind blows across the west desert, the sagebrush waves. Underneath the ground, in the eternal silence and darkness, John Edward Jones sleeps. He is 26 years old forever. He is waiting for the resurrection, but he will never leave the cave. December 2009, Stansbury Park, Utah. A week after Thanksgiving, the family holds a memorial service. It is a surreal experience. Usually, a funeral centers around a casket, a body, a physical goodbye. Here, there is only a photograph. John Edward Jones, smiling, wearing his white coat, holding his daughter Lizzie. Emily Jones sits in the front row. She is still pregnant. She is surrounded by hundreds of people. The story has gone global. The world is fascinated by the tragedy of the man in the cave. But for Emily, it isn't a news story. It is a silence in the house. She looks at the photo. She thinks about where he is right now, 55 miles away, 150 feet down. He is still in the dark. He is still in the suit he wore that day. The thought is suffocating. Most widows visit a grave. They bring flowers to a manicured lawn. Emily's grave is a hole in the desert sealed with concrete. She has to reconcile the theology of her faith, that his spirit has flown, with the biology of the situation, that his body is trapped in the earth. People come up to her. "He's in a better place," they say. "He died doing what he loved," they say. Emily nods politely, but inside she screams. He didn't love dying upside down in the dark. He loved living. He loved her. She realizes that grief is not a straight line. It is a maze. And she is just entering the first room. June 2010, 7 months after the accident. Emily goes into labor. It is a bittersweet day. John was supposed to be there. He was supposed to hold her hand. He was supposed to cut the cord. Instead, his brother Josh is there. His parents are there. The baby is born, a boy. He screams with healthy lungs. The nurse hands him to Emily. She looks at his face. He has John's eyes. He has John's chin. She names him John Jones II. He is a living legacy, a piece of the man the mountain took. As he grows, the resemblance becomes haunting. When he laughs, it sounds like John. When he runs, he moves like John. Emily tells him stories. "Your daddy was a hero," she says. "He was a doctor. He helped people." She doesn't tell him about the cave. Not yet. She shows him pictures of the mountains. "Daddy is part of the mountain now," she says. It is a gentle lie, but it is also the truth. John Jr. grows up knowing his father is a legend, a myth. But for Emily, watching him grow is a constant reminder of the empty chair at the dinner table. Every birthday is a victory, but every birthday is also a marker of time passed since the last descent. 10 years later, the Nutty Putty Cave is gone. On the surface, it looks like any other hill in the West Desert: sagebrush, dust, wind. But if you look closely, you find the scar. A flat concrete slab poured flush with the ground. Set into the concrete is a metal plaque. John Edward Jones, 1983 to 2009. There are no flowers here. The desert is too harsh for them. Instead, visitors leave rocks, small stones stacked on the plaque. Cavers come here, not to explore, but to pay respects. The cave is officially a grave. The BLM, Bureau of Land Management, has strictly forbidden any digging. The entrance is filled with explosives, debris, and cement. It is the only cave in the United States that has been permanently sealed with a body inside. It has become a place of folklore. Teenagers drive out on weekends. They dare each other to touch the plaque. They say if you put your ear to the ground, you can hear him breathing. It is a ghost story now. But for the rescuers, Ryan Schertz, Susie Motola, Sean Roundy, it is not a ghost story. It is a trauma. Many of them stopped caving after that night. Ryan still has the scar on his face where the metal hit him. They meet sometimes. They talk. "We almost had him," Ryan says. "We were so close." The almost is what kills them. If the rock hadn't broken, if the rope hadn't sheared, if the angle was 1 degree different. Nutty Putty teaches them a hard lesson. Nature doesn't care about almost. Nature only cares about physics. The tragedy changed caving forever. Before John Jones, caving was often seen as a casual weekend activity, spelunking. After John Jones, the tone shifted. Caving organizations tightened their protocols. Ed's Push became a case study in every cave rescue manual in the world. Rescuers study diagrams of John's position. They analyze the failure of the anchors. They learned that pulling isn't always the answer. They learned that sometimes the earth doesn't give back what it takes. The closure of Nutty Putty saved lives. Since 2009, there have been 0 accidents in that cave. Because no one can enter it. John's death bought safety for a generation of Utah teenagers. It is a grim trade, but it is a trade nonetheless. Emily eventually remarries. She finds happiness again. She has to. Life is for the living. But she keeps a box in the closet, John's stethoscope, his medical school acceptance letter, his hiking boots. She takes them out once a year. She lets John Jr. touch them. "These were your dad's," she says. "He had big feet," the boy says. "He had a big heart," she corrects him. The earth is a jealous keeper. We build our cities on its skin. We fly our planes through its air. We sail our ships on its oceans. But when we go beneath the surface, we are trespassing. John Jones was not a reckless man. He was a father, a doctor, a brother. He made one wrong turn in the dark, and for that, the mountain claimed him. There is a profound silence in the West Desert tonight. The wind blows through the sagebrush, just as it did in 2009. The stars look down, cold and indifferent. But underneath the ground, encased in rock and time, John is waiting. He is no longer upside down. He is no longer in pain. He is simply part of the geology. His atoms will eventually merge with the limestone. His bones will become fossils. In 1,000,000 years, when the desert is an ocean again, he will still be there. The last descent wasn't a journey to the center of the earth. It was a journey into the hearts of the people who tried to save him. It reminds us that we are fragile, that our breath is borrowed, and that sometimes the only way out is to stay.